The bunyip is a mythical creature from Australian Aboriginal folklore, often described as lurking in swamps, billabongs, creeks, riverbeds, and waterholes. Its descriptions vary widely, but it is generally depicted as a large amphibious monster. Here are some key aspects of the bunyip. Appearance. 1. Asterisk shape and size. Accounts of the bunyip's appearance differ greatly. Some describe it as a monstrous, seal-like creature with a dog-like face, dark fur, a horse-like tail, flippers, and walrus-like tusks. Others depict it with a long neck and a head resembling a bird. 2. Eerie features. It is often said to have large, glowing eyes emitting terrifying cries or roars that can be heard at night. Behavior. 1. Habitat. Bunyips are believed to inhabit water sources, particularly those in remote or desolate areas. 2. Predatory nature. According to legend, bunyips are dangerous creatures that prey on animals and humans who venture too close to their watery domains. Cultural significance. 1. Aboriginal legends. The bunyip features prominently in Aboriginal stories, often as a cautionary figure to warn people away from dangerous areas. 2. Colonial encounters. European settlers in Australia also reported encounters with the bunyip during the 19th century, further cementing its place in Australian folklore. Modern interpretations. 1. Cryptozoology. Some cryptozoologists speculate that bunyip legends may be based on sightings of real, though possibly extinct, animals like the Diprotodon, a large prehistoric marsupial. 2. Cultural icon. Today, the bunyip is a part of Australian popular culture, appearing in various books, films, and artworks. The bunyip remains one of the most intriguing and mysterious creatures in Australian folklore, captivating the imagination with its diverse and eerie descriptions.
How's everyone doing? This here's your boy. In case you ain't figured out from the intro to this here video, this is about the bunyip. Now this one is going to be fairly straightforward. It's definitely a cryptid, obviously, no shit, right? So moving on past that, what exactly could this thing be? I'm going to be honest with you guys. This one, to me, ironically makes a little bit more sense than a lot of the other stuff that's out there. You might be thinking, how the hell can something like this make sense? Especially with how it appears. I'm going to tell you guys something. Australia, due to its isolation compared to other continents, you have to understand, Australia is both, if I remember right, it's the smallest continent, but also at the same time the world's largest island. You have to understand, and what does that mean? Exactly. What that means is because of that, a lot of the animals that were isolated on said continent, which is Australia, have evolved differently. Marsupials are different animals completely than your average mammals, if you know what I'm talking about. The reproductive systems, the way their young develop, of course, kangaroo, the possum, things like this are well known. And of course, you have other more strange animals like the echidna, the platypus, things like that. But my point is this: of course, you have the koala, things like that. But you have to understand something. The marsupials of today were not always the marsupials of today. And what I mean by that is simple. If you were actually able to, let's say, go to a museum or watch anything on megafauna back in the day, I mean like prehistoric type creatures, back during that period of time, Australia had a different type of animal, literally. I'm talking about, think of a creature called a Diprotodon. It's literally a massive walking tank, which was actually a gigantic creature that was herbivorous, but it was what you would consider an ancestor of the wombat and the koala. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. You also have to think about the thylacine, which is also known as the Tasmanian wolf or the Tasmanian tiger. Now, this is before dingoes and stuff like that were imported from settlers and all that to Australia. Of course, those animals are not native to Australia at all. Those are dogs. The thylacine is a good example of this. It is literally an animal that has similar attributes as maybe a canine or anything, but it's a marsupial. And it was very, very carnivorous. And of course, is for the most part known to be extinct, or believed to be, even though there are sightings. And that is exactly my point. I believe very firmly that a lot of these creatures, especially with some of the earlier type of prehistoric megafauna that were marsupials. You had a saber-toothed cat, like marsupial, that literally took that niche. It was not a feline at all. It was marsupial, like I said, but it had massive saber teeth. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of strange animal that probably hasn't even been discovered as of now, that could be dwelling in waterways and things like that. That's marsupial and is very probably be terrifying to look at. You have to understand something. Do I believe this is an old world supernatural creature? Personally, it could be. Because, of course, you have different stories by the Aboriginal people over there. But at the same time, it seems to me that this thing is they consider it more of a force of nature, or a warning not to go into certain areas. Quite literally a very large predatory creature. Now, the descriptions of this thing are way out there, let me tell you. But I'm going to tell you this. It is possible that a creature like this, I believe personally, could be an undiscovered species of marsupial or other kind of entity, if you want to call it that, or a physical manifestation of something very normal. And what I mean by normal is natural. I mean, you have to understand, if you actually look at some of the old manuscripts or texts, and I've had a chance to actually look at some old drawings and things like that, or paintings, if you want to call it that, of how some of the early settlers describe some of the animals that, of course, we know today as, the platypus, the kangaroo, even, of course, the big flying fox, which is, of course, a species of bat. And it's not just in Australia, it's in other places like South America and things like that. But at the same time, again, Australia is isolated. So it's very easy for, I believe, personally, excuse me, for an animal that definitely possibly could fit the description of what the bunyip could be, give or take a little bit. I believe very personally that a creature like that could definitely exist there in the land down under. And let me tell you, there's other creatures that I believe exist that are definitely beyond the norm. I mean, among the beyond scientific, if you know what I'm talking about, or beyond the natural. So yes, I do believe the bunyip possibly exists, and maybe even probably. This creature right here is because of where it's located. And you have to understand something. The outback is massive. I'm just saying, there's so much of the outback even now that is uncharted, that has not been really seen except maybe by the Aborigines. Really at all, if you know what I'm talking about. And of course, it's desert, you have cave systems, you have only God knows what out there. And of course, bodies of water, maybe even underground. Many people don't really take this into consideration. This creature, to me, it almost sounds like a cross between an otter and a saber-toothed cat and a walrus. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if you saw a platypus and if you were from, let's say, the Old West and you saw something like that, you'd be like, what the hell is it? Or even, let's say, a little bit before, the colonial period. People would think that thing is not natural, if you know what I'm saying. So therefore, I believe this creature, whatever the heck it is, could be a marsupial, could be also what's known as a monotreme, which would be like the echidna, and of course the platypus. These are animals that are warm-blooded, like mammals, but they lay eggs. And they have both, like literally bird, sorry about that, they literally have bird, reptilian, and mammalian characteristics. It's really crazy, man. That's my point. These creatures are, whatever the heck the bunyip is, I definitely believe it could exist. It's definitely more believable to me, ironically, despite the way it's described, than many other animals out there or many other cryptids out there. It's just something to think about. You guys know what I do. I'm the producer for Dark Waters Entertainment. If you've had yourself a sighting of a cryptid or anything paranormal, hit me up at westvic@imdarkwaters.com. You guys be blessed and you be safe.